Hello YouTubers. Well, I did say that I was going to explain what I've been up to the last couple of years. I was just leaving it and what trouble I've been getting myself into. And now it's time to tell the tale. Okay, so I decided that perhaps it would be a good idea to get into politics. Politics is a weird thing, I know. I do enjoy making sort of videos like this one. And that's great, but is it reaching out? Is it actually making a difference? To some small extent, perhaps, but there is a wider issues that you can get into. And, well, I look at the world and I see madness. Madness everywhere. Insanity, almost. You get to that age and you suddenly go, the world is mad. Perhaps. Anyway. I have a problem with the world in the fact that the population's growing unsustainably. Nobody seems to be out there facing this issue. Let's take housing, for instance. We need housing, obviously, because there's an increasing population. So we need housing, but that housing has to go onto land that's also used for cattle and obviously arable land, sheep, whatever, farming land. And there's only so much you can build on brownfield sites, and of course the government say go out there and build it. Now, obviously they need housing, but unless you address the actual issue that the world is getting larger in population, you're never going to solve the problem. And this is something which I just want one politician somewhere to actually say, perhaps we should look at this. In China, they had to take radical steps, one couple, one child. And they are radical steps, and they're not necessary if you face the problem early enough. But maybe that was one of the big issues that I have with politics. I wanted to be in there and at least say, look, we've got to look at this issue. Whether you agree with me or not doesn't matter. Just bear with me on this. So, obviously my secular atheism as well. Which party should I pick? Well, the Conservatives have been particularly bad lately. Their leader I can't trust. Once somebody lies to you, you generally don't trust them again. And that's another thing. I wanted to be in politics and not lie. I don't like lying. I don't want to lie. If you're ever forced into a corner where you lie, it plays on my mind, and it has done in the past. But so now I just try not to do it. I say try. I live my life never lying, but it gets me into trouble sometimes. It's another problem. Do you like my haircut? No, not really. I liked it before, but no, you've ruined yourself. You look like a boy. That's to a girl, obviously. You don't have to be that harsh. You can just say, well, as long as you like it, that's fine. Or, well, I'm probably not the person to ask. Something simple like that. So I try and get over my lying problem, as it were, in that way. Which isn't a problem then, because I'm not lying. Why did I just tell you all that? I have no idea, but I hope it's interesting anyway. Let's get on to something else. So, Conservatives, well, they said they'd give us a referendum on Europe. Yeah, which was nice. And last time I actually voted for them on that. I said we do need a referendum in Europe because there is a problem with immigration, etc. in this country, without a doubt. It's not a racist issue. It's just something you've got to face up to, that unless you can actually control in some way your country's borders, then, you just got a world where everybody just moves around it doing what they like. And although that sounds like a great ideal, it doesn't work in practice, in my idea. Anyway, that's politics. You see, I got into politics, so I start telling you all this. As if I'm being interviewed by the BBC or something. Well, I'm not. So, there we go. Let's get back to the crux of it. No, I couldn't go for them because they said they'd give us a referendum. Of course, they have promised a referendum, but only if you vote them in again. And that, to me, is... I couldn't see through that one, That's a really bad thing to do. I don't care what else they may have done that's good or bad. That's just blatant lying and cheating, in my opinion. So that was it. That was out. Right, so Labour, I just don't click with them, I'm afraid. They're not going to help at all. They're not going to... I can't see eye to eye with the, Ed Miliband. Why do I always forget his name? That probably has a lot to do with it. No, I don't see... The guy's got no charisma. I don't see any future in the policies or anything. They're not facing up to the problems. They're just trying to say, we will give you everything, which is great, but people can see through that. You don't just give things away. Anyway, so what's left? Well, the Liberals have no chance whatsoever, and there's Ukip. So Ukip, yes, they were the one I picked. Okay, I admit it. I picked Ukip, and... well, they do have some interesting policies, and at least they do now. I hated the fact that UKIP's energy policy really was bizarre, to say the least, and possibly I'll get to that another time, perhaps on the energy, because I really did have reservations about that when I joined, and their energy spokesman they have and things like that, but that's not a problem today. So I had problems with certain aspects of it, but what did they offer me? Well, they offered me the fact that they're saying, we want people with new ideas. We want people who want to speak out. We want a new type of politics. We want people that will, have worked their life. People who have had jobs, people who've done things, people that have paid taxes. These are the people that have suffered because of politics, and they're the people that can perhaps turn things round, give the ideas and put things right. Now, this was my sort of party, that's the type of thing I want. I've been waiting for ages for a party that says, right, we're not going to lie, we're not going to do all these things. Well, obviously some of them are, but they also have their characters that have been a problem to me, and of course to everybody else. They had a character in there which was an ex-Conservative, yes, councillor that claimed that the floods last year were caused by gay marriages. Well, that is bizarre. That is really bizarre. And I thought, well, at least I won't be saying anything like that. That is insanity. And I knew that when I got there would be quite a few Christians and religious people, and of course I don't have a problem with religious people at all. It's the religions themselves I have a problem with. So I got involved in my local party, and I must say I was probably the only secular atheist there. I don't know what the religion of all the people there were, but there were plenty of Christians, and sometimes we would have a little chat on the side, not as part of the meeting, but we would I'd give my opinion, they'd give their opinion, and we'd have a bit of a laugh over it, and shake hands, and everything was fine. No problems whatsoever, just pure discussion. And they become friends, I like these people, they're fine. I joined the campaign for one of our PPCs, Rose Gibbons, and, the people on that campaign, I would often be talking to them about my beliefs and non-beliefs, as it were, their beliefs and my non-beliefs. We would have these chats, that's fine. So what happened? What was the problem? Well, it's when I actually put my name down to become a local councillor. And I put my name down, and they do ask you on the form, do you belong to any particular, other organisation that may be considered political or something like that? Well, I said I am a member of the National Secular Society, which was actually started in Northampton way back in the 19th century by, of course, Charles Bradlaugh. Now, so that was fine, but they say, well, have you got any other accounts and things like Twitter, and YouTube, and these sort of things? Well, I thought I needn't put that down. In fact, I hadn't made videos for a long time. I could perhaps sort of ignore that side of things and go forward and do things in a different way. So I said, I thought I'll put it down. I'll put down, yes, I do this sort of, fun thing, Darwin's Gift, on YouTube. Hadn't made any actual videos for a while because I didn't really want them to be controversial, etc. It wasn't part of what I was aiming for at the time. Now, also, of course, I put down my Twitter account. And, well, I just waited. I started distributing little leaflets around saying that I'm standing as a candidate, etc. all of a sudden, I get this thing out of the blue, an email. It says, I'm afraid you've been turned down. I haven't got the exact words in front of me, but basically it says you've been turned down as a candidate. Because in your Twitter bio and in your YouTube accounts, you suggest that religious people are dangerous. That was it. You suggest that religious people are dangerous. Now, that is important because that's all it said. For this reason, you've been turned down, for suggesting that religious people are dangerous. Nothing else, just that. And I looked on, I thought, what? Okay, religious people can be dangerous. We all know that. We know ISIS, we see all the time. The Twin Towers, etc. We know that it was religious-based. You look at Northern Ireland, and there was the secular violence, sectarian violence over there. And, we know that people can be dangerous with religious ideals. We also know that somebody can be dangerous if they're an atheist. That's just per se. Of course they can. Stalin, of course, was an atheist. He had the ideology of communism. Obviously, he was following again an ideology. But, of course, he was an atheist. So, on my videos, which are all here today for you to see, I've taken nothing down because and I'll get to that in a second. Now, my Twitter bio, I looked at it and I thought, wow, what are they all about on Twitter? Now, if you look at my Twitter account, it's exposing things, animal cruelty, terrible things going on in Saudi Arabia, all the sort of things you perhaps would expect from a secular atheist. I couldn't see anything there that was anything but reporting on how mad religion can be. And I looked at it, and eventually, and after some time, I looked and I saw where I'd written on my bio, as a secular atheist, I am not dangerous. Which I generally put there because David Cameron, the Prime Minister, actually went out and said to religious people in his Easter address, go out there and declare war on secular atheists. And this has been said several times since. We had Eric Pickford say it only this week, these militant secularists. And I've mentioned that many a time. What is this militant secularism? How evil are we, So anyway, that was reason I put that down on Twitter. I had no idea at the time I was perhaps saying religious people are dangerous, which is, as I say, something which you only have to watch the news to see. I don't have to say it. And of course, all religious people are not dangerous. All atheists are not dangerous. Of course, all people. We know that. Of course you know that. You'd have to be pretty stupid not to know that. It's told to you every bloody day on the news, etc., in the media. So, anyway, I hope I'm not boring you with this too much. Well, I thought this is insane. What? Dangerous? So I wrote back, obviously, and generally asked, could you give an example of how my videos, my Twitter account suggests this? And I waited 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, because they said, well, if you want to appeal against this, you send it to this particular, it give you an email address. So I sent it that email address, and after the 3 weeks, they wrote back and said, oh, you don't send it to us, you send it to this other person. So they just passed the buck to somebody who I didn't actually need to contact. I needed to contact someone else. And so that wasted a load of time. And so I thought, okay, I'll write straight to him. Well, no, he says, I don't know anything about your case, but at the same time, you need your chairman, etc., to back you up, send a letter with it. So I kind of wrote to my chairman and said, sort this out, will you? And he said, oh, I'm on holiday next week. Shan't do it till I get back. And which was strange because he did seem to have time to make other letters during that time, but that maybe he'd prepared them before he went. However, my local chairman, nice enough chap, and other members of the party, they sort of said to me, and I had this little discussion, well, take your videos down. Take your videos down, and then you can stand, you know, as a candidate. We'll put you back in. Take your videos down, take Twitter down, and then you can stand. And I thought about it, and I thought, hang on, you're telling me that I am saying that religious people are dangerous. Something which my videos do not back up. My videos will highlight where religion is insane, and perhaps people ought to think about it. Scripture is often violent, etc. But that's free speech. It's not hate speech. And what you're basically saying here is, I'm making hate speech, which is different. You know, if I was saying, oh, gay people should be thrown off cliffs or something, that's kind of hate speech, isn't it? If I'd said Jews are all pigs and apes, I've got nothing against pigs and apes. You know, to a Jew, that's probably not very nice. I call that hate speech. So you do find that, of course, within the Islamic scriptures of the Quran, amongst many other things. And, you know, death to the unbelievers, etc. So you do find that, and you still find people around there today that do follow those exact words. But that is hate speech, and all I'm doing is highlighting Scripture's hate speech. But there you go. Apparently, my free speech is hate speech, and this is something I've trying to be pushed to everybody for a long time. We are having our free speech eroded away. You're not allowed. They want me to take down this channel in order for me to stand as a political party. Okay, so I do have things on this channel which are, well, satire, bit of humour, you know. So what? Do people think everybody from Monty Python can never have an opinion? Of course not. You know, that would be ridiculous. Not only that, I mean, obviously there's things on this channel which people won't like. Well, that's fine. In politics, you're not going to be liked by a lot of people, are you? Having people like you and not like you isn't what it's about. It's about actually saying it in the first place and going with your convictions, and that's how politics should be too. And people will obviously get themselves behind certain people depending on their point of view. Anyway, so this went to and fro for a short while, and I went, no, forget it. This is ridiculous. You are telling me that Ukip, a party that says it wants new ideas, new people, new thoughts, new thinking, Ukip does not accept someone like myself because I'm a secular atheist and I run this channel. And for that reason, I think they're utterly disgusting. I cannot believe. Can you imagine if I was Jewish and I ran a channel that was, you know, Happy Yom Kippur, etc. And they looked at that and went, oh, we don't want Jews. No, forget that. No, sorry, mate, you can't join because you're a Jew. Or, you know, if I was just a Christian, they go, oh, okay, if you're advocating that gay people cause floods, perhaps you need to take a think and a look at them. But am I advocating anything like that? No, that would be insane. So if you had a religious view and you had a religious channel, they wouldn't dare tell you couldn't stand as a candidate. Wouldn't dare. And they're only doing it because I'm a secular atheist, in my opinion. I have asked them time and time again, what is it on my videos? Can you pick a video and say, I don't like that hate speech there? Because as far as I'm concerned, there isn't any hate speech. I don't like hate speech. I wouldn't put hate speech on my channels that I know of. Sure, there's things about sort of this nutter is insane. And I back that with evidence, like we all do. Let's look at the evidence. This man is wrong. Well, that's great. That's a good way of looking at life. And hate speech it is not. So I find myself in this problem. I've had to leave the party. I couldn't stay in a party that wouldn't back me. I really like my local friends, as it were, that I found within the party. But they didn't get outraged. When I say to people, well, I can't sit because I'm a secular atheist, it seems. They go, oh, right, okay. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame? That's disgraceful, that's what that is. And people don't get it. They don't get how non-religion is as important as religion. They think it's so minor, it's so, we don't believe in anything, so why should you worry about religion? Well, of course, in politics we have religious societies, religious backing for interns within the political groups. These people are pushing their way through politics, and we're finding a mass of religious people at the top of our chain of political thinkers. And they don't want to see secular atheists there, believe me. And it seems that Ukip is no different. I am disgusted by them. I really am, because I had new ideas. I really did have a new way of thinking, at least I feel it is. I don't know what else I can say to you, really. I've probably waffled on long enough. This has been over 20 minutes now of telling you what's been going on. I do need support in this. When I say support, I'm probably not going back into Ukip, but we need to highlight the fact that we are being stamped on by religious thinking, and that is disgraceful. It really is disgraceful. I'm going to make more videos. I'm going to enjoy making more videos. My videos might be a little bit more political, and it seems every week now we have some bizarre religious story coming along. And I'm going to enjoy myself. As for Ukip, you can f*** off. Peace.